Today's video is a little bit different as I have a client of mine who just graduated from our Executive Career Accelerator talking about the transformation that she just went through. My name is Tom and I run the Executive Career Accelerator here at Vertical Motion. If you want to learn more about that, follow me on Instagram at TomCoxVM. But today, what we're going to do is we're going to just watch a quick video from Julia talk about her experience going through the coaching that we did together to help her find, land, and now excel in her first executive role. So, with that, let's go see Julia. Well, good afternoon, Julia. It's great to see you. How have you been?
I've been well. Good to see you too.
Awesome. Well, hey, I just wanted to take a little bit of time to kind of review the program that we just went through and see how you felt about things. So I'm just going to ask you a few questions and get a sense of how things went for you. All right.
Sounds good.
Awesome. So when we first met, where were you in your executive career journey?
In my executive career journey, it was very aspirational. I had the confidence in my capabilities as a professional, as sort of a mid-level manager, as a leader of some smaller teams, but I hadn't yet shifted to that next level executive mindset that we spent so much time working on. And I think a large part of what was preventing me from getting to that mindset shift was that so much of that confidence that I had was really being clouded in the voice of that mental critic, in the back of my mind that was telling me, oh, to be an executive leader, you need to be more like this. You need to sound more like that. You need to behave more like this person. And all of that was really blocking me from being authentic, defining my authentic style as an executive leader, and thus wasn't allowing me to show up with the executive presence that I knew I could get to if I just spent the time working on it and figuring out who that person could be.
Yeah, I remember specifically that it was difficult for you to share a lot because you really wanted to make sure that everything that you put out there was 150% accurate, that there was kind of some perfectionism that was a part of what you wanted to be confident in sharing.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's, going from being an individual contributor, I was always looking to hit a home run every time. We talked about getting that perfect grade. And I think that was part of the block is that, becoming an executive leader, there's no guidebook, there's no handbook, there's no rubric. We talked about that all the time. And I think that was part of the block too, was thinking I needed to know everything before I could speak up or take an action. So getting comfortable with that was absolutely something that I needed to work on when we started working together.
That's awesome. Yeah. What was it that made you decide to work with me specifically? Were you looking to work with other coaches, or how did you come to the decision to work together with me?
Yeah, I had an idea in my mind that I wanted to work with a coach, but hadn't really explored a lot of what those options looked like before we connected. But I did from a criteria standpoint. I think your perspective of having worked in large organizations and startup organizations, you've seen a breadth of experiences when it comes to leadership and management. You've worked with a lot of different types of leaders and managers, so that was very important to me. And candidly, some of what was important to me too was having someone who didn't have a background from a functional perspective that was exactly like mine. Because again, trying to always get the perfect grade, I think sometimes I could overly align myself to the path that someone who's had a very similar set of experiences or worked in a similar function like marketing could lay out for me. So I think your breadth of experience, but also your a bit of objectivity in terms of someone coming up in a marketing role was really helpful to me to make sure that I got a very objective and well-rounded perspective.
Awesome. That is super helpful. I appreciate that. As we went through the program, we talked about building executive presence, executive style, and then building your executive network. As we went through that, what was one of or the biggest breakthrough that you had when we worked together?
Yeah, sometime in, I'd say maybe around week 2, 3, though it's all a blur because every week really just built on the prior one in a great way. I know somewhere around that time I had a really big unlock that executive leadership, we talked a lot about the mindset that you need to have as an executive. You want to have a mindset as you approach work and problems and leading others. But the unlock for me was that, and this goes back to what I needed to work on, the unlock was that it didn't require a specific style. So when we talked about all of the different leadership styles and approaches and philosophies, and not just looked at those, but applied them in an executive context, that was really helpful for me to realize that to be a successful executive, it's not, one style fits all. And I was able to really take what I needed from a lot of different approaches, and also take what felt unique and natural to me, and package it and refine it in a way that I could identify with as, oh, this is what Julia's executive style and presence would look like. And it took, like I said, building kind of week over week with some of the self-discovery work we did, some of the style work. But that, as I look back, was really important to me, because like I said, I'd looked at a lot of those, I read some of those books and those styles before, but never looked at them with an executive lens. And that was just a great unlock.
Oh, that's awesome. That's fantastic. Yeah. And it was obvious for me after that week, a lot about you changed. It was really great to see that presence really start to grow. And now I feel like I should come work for you. Tell me a little bit about now where you are. So where you were was kind of in a a little confused state, not sure where you were going with your career. Where have you gone during this program, and where are you now?
Yeah, so in the middle of this program, I actually secured my first executive role, which was not something I anticipated when we started, which was great, and appreciated you navigating and adjusting the modules as necessary to meet me where I'm at, which is definitely something you're excellent in doing. And, I just want to say to you, thank you, because in going through that very, I would say, applied curriculum of navigating, interviewing, negotiating, accepting, and starting an executive role, you were such an asset to me there every step of the way. That, is an experience that you learn through experiences there. So being able to work with you and get some secondary learning through your own experiences and going through that was really, really helpful for me, because again, it does look, sound, and feel different when you're at that executive level. And I just really appreciate the support that I had. So yes, I am happy to have started an executive role a few weeks ago, and have also just continued to benefit from working with you, looking back into the modules and whatnot as I really bring my style to life in this new adventure.
Yeah, that's awesome. I'm just incredibly proud of everything you were able to put together over the last several months. And it was amazing to be able to apply a lot of the modules real time, as you were like, well, we need to go through the negotiation module now, right? Like that was really great to
Yeah.
it was very practical. Yeah.
Yeah.
um and so congratulations to you on your new role, on your new career. Would you say that this was a good investment working together?
Yes, absolutely. I think this is something, again, if I were to have had access to the books and the links and the videos that, that you present and package up in this course, it wouldn't have made as much of an impact in terms of consuming that information. It's really what you bring, how you articulate it, the homework, the things that you do to make me a little uncomfortable in terms of looking in the mirror, and the self-reflection, I think, were so valuable. And I really think that to get to those types of unlocks, it has to be a human to human type of process versus just what I had been doing, which was a lot of just consuming guidance, more passively, I would say, reading the books, reading the articles, doing the things. I think that this really applied approach and having someone to workshop things with and converse with and think through my own style was such a worthwhile investment.
Awesome. Well, Julia, again, thank you so much. Congratulations. It has been an absolute pleasure working with you. I'm looking forward to continue to work with you as things kind of go along. I think that for me, one of the things that's most important about what I'm doing is that the community that I want to build is going to be made up of executives anywhere in their journey. And so I'm excited for you to be able to, be kind of a mentor to some of the folks who come into the program later, and then also continue to build your executive network with people who come into the program. So again, thank you so much, Julia. It's been awesome working with you.
Likewise, thank you. And as you mentioned on networks, I just want to plug how generous you were with your network in terms of adding value to the program as well was just tremendous. I don't think I've ever seen one be so generous in terms of making introductions. So I definitely thank you for that and many, many more things that you provided through this program.
Absolutely. Yeah, it is about the network. Absolutely. Your network is your net worth, right?
That's right.
Well, awesome, Julia. Thank you so much for the time, and I will talk with you again soon.
All right. Sounds good. Thank you.
All right.